So good evening students, how are you all? So good evening to all, Rani, Praveen, Sweetie, right. So all of you are ready for the class, but today before we start the class, as every day I am telling you, you all need to have NCERT. So today first of all I will tell you how to download the NCERT for each chapter. So as I have already explained you also. Okay, Bharti, good evening. Pooja, good evening. Now all of you just see once how you will download the NCERT. So it is very simple. If you haven't purchased the book yet, no problem. But all of you go back and download the NCERT. So what you have to go back to the Google, right? And there, as you can see here, I have just typed NCERT Plant Kingdom, and you can see this is the result. Just you have to click it and your NCERT is here. Now you have to simply download it from here. Just you press it and it will get downloaded. And now you can save it with the name of the chapter, and as you can see here, it has all the points which we have already just discussed. So in Plant Kingdom, we have covered algae, we have covered all these examples. Now today we are going to start with the bryophytes, right? So this is a very simple and easy way. The download is free, so you can get it downloaded. If you want a hard copy, you can get it printed, and then you can start by reading NCERT. So this was it, how you will download it. So all of you give me a thumbs up if you have already downloaded it, or you will go back and download it today, because without that any class will not be effective, especially in bio. Physics, chemistry you can do it, but in bio it is impossible without NCERT. So give me a thumbs up if today you are going to download the NCERT. If you already have, it's very good. So now let's start with the class. So in today's class we will talk about bryophytes. In the last class we have already talked about pteridophytes. We have already talked about the algae, in which three parts of algae we have seen: the green algae, brown algae and red algae. On that basis we have solved some question also. Now today we will see bryophyte, and after that we will see pteridophyte. Remember, we have seen plant kingdom is divided into 5 parts: algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperm. We have covered the first part, algae. Now we are going for the bryophytes. So as you can see here, bryophytes. So here if you see in bryophytes, just these are some of the images. So you can now see that here some leaf-like structure, some root-like structure are present in bryophyte, right? In case of algae, you did not see any such a structure. Now here also actually true root, leaf and stem are not present, right? But still you can see their leaf and root like structure are present here. So let's start with the bryophyte. So if we see here some of the characteristic of bryophyte, so first and foremost important thing is that bryophytes are called the amphibian of plant kingdom. They are called amphibian. Now what do you mean by amphibian? In case of animal kingdom, you all must have studied about amphibian, which need water for reproduction, or they remain on land and water both. So in bryophyte also, since they need water for reproduction, that's why they are called as the amphibian of plant kingdom. That's why they are called amphibian of plant kingdom, because they need water for reproduction. Is it clear? So first point. Second point, they are non-vascular plant, means there is no xylem, no phloem present. No xylem, no phloem present. They have thalloid body, means true root, stem and leaf is not present. Just like algae, they don't have true root, stem and leaf. Now they show alternation of generation, that is between gametophyte and sporophyte. So this we will study in a little detail, right? First, just simple term. You all must be knowing what is a haploid and what is a diploid. When a cell has pair of chromosome, then it is called diploid. Diploid is represented by 2n. Diploid is represented by 2n and haploid is represented by n. So gametophyte is haploid and sporophyte is diploid. We will see it in a little detail in a while. So but just here you just remember this point, that this bryophyte have two stages in the life cycle. One stage is called gametophyte, another stage is called sporophyte. Till this point everything is clear. So now, before going further into detail of gametophyte and sporophyte, here are the two questions. All of you, I can see about 250 students are connected here. All of you need to answer. I want answer from all of you. The first question, bryophytes are known as. Are bryophytes vascular plant? No, bryophytes are non-vascular. They are non-vascular. Are bryophyte xerophytes? No. Are they aquatic? No. They are called the amphibians of plant kingdom. So first correct answer is B. Bryophytes are called the amphibian of plant kingdom. Second, which generation is dominant in the life cycle of bryophyte? We have seen there are two phases of life cycle, sporophyte and gametophyte, and gametophyte is dominant in bryophyte. So second correct answer is also B. So for 1 and 2 both case, B is the right answer. So here what we have seen, that bryophyte, gametophyte and sporophyte are two stages. Then here if we see the reproduction in bryophytes, so reproduction in bryophytes, okay, before that all of you are giving right answer. Okay, so I can see most of you have given correct answer. Very good. So now let's move ahead with this topic. Now if we talk about the reproduction in bryophytes, then bryophyte show sexual reproduction, and here they will form two types of sex organ. It is antheridium and archegonium. Now before going into the detail, as I said, first let's understand gametophyte and sporophyte. So let's understand that and then we will answer all these questions. So first of all, if we talk about, and all of you can note this thing down or take a screenshot of this. Once I draw the entire life cycle, take a screenshot of it. So first, when we say bryophytes, so bryophytes, the main plant body is called gametophyte. Gametophyte, which is haploid, it is the main plant body. Now, this main plant body of bryophyte will have two sex organ. First, male sex organ, right, and female sex organ. The male sex organ is called antheridia. And female sex organ is called archegonia. It is called archegonia. It is the female sex organ. Now antheridia will form male gamete, which is called antherozoids. It is called the male gamete. Antherozoid is the male gamete, and this archegonia is the female gamete. It will form the female gamete, that is egg. Now you know in sexual reproduction both male gamete and female gamete will fuse together. They will fuse together and they will form zygote. Now here this fusion will require water, and that is why they are called amphibian of plant kingdom. It will require water. Now this zygote will develop into sporophyte. It will develop into sporophyte, and sporophyte is multicellular. Sporophyte is multicellular. This sporophyte will give rise to spore, and spore will form gametophyte. So this is overall the life cycle of bryophyte. If we see, once again I will repeat, the main plant body is gametophyte. Gametophyte has a male sex organ, female sex organ. It will form male gamete, female gamete, which fuse and form zygote. This zygote will develop into sporophyte, and sporophyte will form gametophyte. So as you can see here, this spore is haploid, N. This is also haploid. So all these are haploid, only this part is diploid. The sporophyte part is 2N and rest all the part is N. So who is dominant? Is gametophyte, that is haploid, is dominant. So that is why we say that in bryophyte, who is dominant? Dominant is the gametophyte, and that is why it is called the main plant body. Now another few points, all of you note this down. First one, that gametophyte is always haploid, sporophyte is always diploid, right? Gametophyte form gamete and sporophyte form spore, right? So this you keep it in mind. So now you all can take a screenshot of it, note it down, or if you are unable to note it down that fast, take a screenshot of it and then you can read it several times. Now here antherozoids are biflagellated. They are biflagellated, means they have two flagella. The archegonia is flask shaped. It is flask shaped, right? Then both male sex organ and female sex organ are multicellular. They are multicellular. Clear? So this is overall the life cycle. So all of you note it down quickly. Take the screenshot. Take the screenshot. If it is done, give me a thumbs up. I will move ahead. So as you can see here, in bryophyte there is two phase, gametophyte which is haploid and sporophyte which is diploid. You can see water is required for fertilization. You can also see sporophyte is multicellular. You can see gametophyte is unicellular. Spore is haploid, N, and the gamete is diploid. Okay, fine. So now let's move ahead. All of you have taken the screenshot. Let's move ahead. Now, these are the two questions. Based on that, if I ask you, the male sex organ in bryophyte is called, what is the male sex organ called? Male sex organ is called antheridium. Antheridium is the male sex organ. Then archegonium is the female sex organ. Female sex organ. Now, next one, the liverwort mercantia reproduces asexually by, asexual reproduction occur through, asexual reproduction occur through, liverwort asexual reproduction through gemma. We will see that. So here, let's see this first and then we will go through that part. So now, male sex organ, as I said, it is antheridium. Female sex organ is archegonium. You can see here, female sex organ is flask shaped and contain single egg, whereas Antheridium, it produce biflagellated antherozoid. This antherozoid is many in number. Then fertilization require water and the zygote is formed inside the archegonium. Zygote will form sporophyte. As we have seen, zygote develop into sporophyte and it remain attached to the gametophyte. Sporophyte, since it is very large, so note this down. Sporophyte actually is the multicellular. So sporophyte is divided into three parts. It is divided into foot, seta and capsule. Remember this point. Sporophyte is divided into foot, seta and capsule. This entire sporophyte is 2n. So foot, seta and capsule is also 2n in nature. Foot, seta and capsule is also 2n in nature. Now if I ask you, which part of sporophyte will form spore? So the answer will be capsule. Note this also down. Capsule will form spore. We generally say sporophyte forms spore, but which part of sporophyte forms spore? It is the capsule which will form spore. So till here everything is clear. So once again I summarize this, that the sexual reproduction take place in case of bryophyte. Here male sex organ and female sex organ are there. They produce male gamete, female gamete which fuse together to form zygote. This fusion need water, so they are amphibians, and that give rise to zygote which develop into sporophyte. Sporophyte is divided into foot, seta and capsule. Capsule will form spore. Spore germinate and again form the gametophyte, as you can see here in the life cycle. Right? Now, moving ahead, this we have already done. Now, diagrammatically, if we see what is a sporophyte and what is a gametophyte, so see here, this part is the sporophyte. As you can see, this is the sporophyte and this part is the gametophyte. Now, sporophyte, you can see capsule here, seta here and foot here. So, you can write like this. This is foot, this part is the seta and capsule. So, can we say sporophyte is divided into three parts, foot, seta and capsule. This three part. Gametophyte is the main part. Now, gametophyte will be photosynthetic. Gametophyte is photosynthetic. Remember this question can be asked, which is photosynthetic? So, gametophyte is photosynthetic. Sporophyte is non-photosynthetic. Non-photosynthetic. Now, if sporophyte is non-photosynthetic, so can sporophyte make food? No, sporophyte cannot make food. Who can make food? Gametophyte. So those who make food and those who don't make food. So the one who don't make food depend on those who make food. For example, if you don't know how to cook, you will depend on your mother, right? But if you know how to cook food, you can cook it by yourself. There is no dependency. In the same way, here gametophyte, it can prepare its food. So, but sporophyte cannot prepare its food. So, sporophyte will depend on gametophyte. So, this is a very important line. Sporophyte depend on gametophyte. Sporophyte depend on gametophyte. In case of bryophyte, the sporophyte is dependent on gametophyte. If I say why is it so? Why is it so? Because you will say, sir, sporophyte is non-photosynthetic. Non-photosynthetic, and gametophyte is photosynthetic. Right? Now, from here, today we will do one special type of question which is very new for you. Now, recent trends are there that NEET always ask 1, 2, 3 assertion reason question, right? So, and you don't have much of a exposure of assertion reason question. So, let's do one assertion reason question today, right? It is same like the other question, but here you need a little bit of extra thinking. So, let's practice this new type of question, which is assertion reason. So, I hope all of you pay attention here. First, read the question carefully and then try to answer it. Clear? So, the question is like this. So, first let me write the question. So, the question is assertion reason, and in that such kind of question you get first assertion. So, assertion if I say that in bryophytes, right, in bryophytes, the sporophyte, is dependent on gametophyte, and then reason if I say the gametophyte is photosynthetic and sporophyte is non-photosynthetic. Let's say this is the question. Now, how you will see option in such question? Now, option you see carefully and then you answer it, right? So, option you will get like, let's say first option is both, A for assertion, both assertion and reason is correct, right? And reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Another will be both A and R is correct. Explanation not correct. Explanation not correct. Another option will be, so let's say third option, A is correct, R is incorrect. And let's say fourth option is A and R both incorrect. Both incorrect. Now tell me what will be the answer here. Tell me what will be the answer. Now you have assertion, you have reason. Now first in such question you have to think in this way. First you will think whether assertion is right or not. Then you will see whether reason is right or not. If both are correct, then you have to think whether this reason is explaining assertion or not. Right? So comparatively such question take a little more time. It need your attention because true and false you can easily say, but how will you say that explanation is correct or not? So now here all of you start answering. What do you think? Assertion and reason is correct? So we have just seen assertion is also correct, reason is also correct, right? But is the explanation correct? So for that you have to connect both of them with a term. You have to connect both of them with a term because. Now if you connect them with because and you get your answer, then it is explanation is also correct. For example, if I read it like this, in bryophyte, the sporophyte is dependent on gametophyte because gametophyte is photosynthetic and sporophyte is non-photosynthetic. So, explanation is also correct, isn't it? So, yes, both assertion and reason is correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So, that's great. So, now most of you have done correct answer, right? So, 1 is the right answer. Very good. So, Suma, Janu, Pratika, Rohit, Khalil, Bhaskar, right, very good. So, all of you have given correct answer. So, this is one type of question which you will very commonly you will see in NEET. So, now let's move ahead. In this case, now if I say then this bryophytes are basically divided into two parts. One is called mosses, another is called mosses and liverworts. Mosses and liverworts, right? So, we will see this question we will understand when we will see the mosses and liverworts in detail. So, first let's see mosses and let's see liverworts. So, this is liverwort. There are, as I said, two types of bryophyte. One is mosses, another is liverworts. So, mosses, liverworts, the example is mercantia. As you can see here, this is the example of mercantia. This is a leafy structure. As you can see, leafy structure. This is archegonia. This is antheridia. Inside is the gemma cup, right? So, the body of liverwort is thalloid. It is dorsiventral, flat. It has a root-like structure called rhizoid. Remember, this rhizoid is a root-like structure. Root-like structure. If question is asked, what is rhizoid? So, you will say rhizoid is a root-like structure. Then, you notate here, gemma is formed. Gemma, right? So, gemma is the asexual form which will help in growing a new thallus, right? So, gemma is the characteristic, rhizoid is there, archegonia, antheridia. This is the female thallus, this is the male thallus. Overall, asexual reproduction, it will include fragmentation, and you can see gemma is present inside the gemma cup. So, if I ask you, gemma will have a role in sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction? So, gemma will have a role in asexual reproduction. It has a role in asexual reproduction. Where is gemma found? So, gemma is found in a gemma cup. Gemma cup is what? It is a cup-like structure. As you can see, this is a cup-like structure in which multicellular gemma is present. So, this you will call as gemma, and this is the gemma cup. Clear? Then here also the sporophyte is divided into foot seta and capsule. So, this is about. So, now what is the distinct character of liverwort? First, liverwort is also called as hepatopsida, right? Hepatopsida it is called. Another is, one of the example is mercantia. If question is asked, mercantia is an example of, so you will say it is an example of, liverworts. Here they have root-like structure called rhizoid. They can have separate male thallus and female thallus. Remember, all liverwort won't have separate male and female thallus, but mercantia has separate male thallus and female thallus. Then they form gemma cup, which will have gemma inside, which will help in the asexual reproduction. Now, so this is the question. If I ask you now, this is another type of question. Till now we have done very simple question, one word answer were there. Now this is also a type of question which is asked in NEET, where you will get several statements and the options you have to choose among all this. So this is another type of question. So difficulty level of this question is a little more. So now on the basis of what we have just seen in liverworts, tell me what is true. So liverworts belong to bryophytes. Liverworts belong to bryophyte. Yes, they belong to bryophyte. Now, do liverwort have dominant sporophyte? Now, if it is a bryophyte, can sporophyte be dominant or gametophyte be dominant? So it should have a dominant gametophyte. So this statement is wrong. They reproduce by gemma. So yes, it is correct. And water is required for fertilization. This is also correct. Right? So except 2, all are correct. So correct answer will be 1, 3 and 4. 1, 3 and 4 is the right answer. Such questions are also asked here. Here you have to be very alert while reading the statement and choosing the correct option, because you have multiple options to find out true or false. Usually what happens, student don't ignore this true and somehow they do this question wrong. So such kind of question is again important. Now 2 questions which we have seen here, let's cover this first. Now if I ask you, the structure that anchor bryophyte to the substratum is called, it is root-like structure which is called rhizoid. Rhizoid is the root-like structure. Mosses we will just see and then we will answer about the mosses. Here the bryophyte sporophyte is, sporophyte of bryophyte, is it dependent or is it independent? Answer it fast, quick. Many of you are still not answering. Participate, then only you will learn. These topics are such that if you just read it, it will not get into your mind. You need to get involved, you need to practice, you need to revise, and then only you will feel good about these topics. Otherwise, you will keep on complaining that these are the boring topics. I have to memorize a lot. Okay, so I am starting getting the answer. Yes, Khalil, Bhaskar, Charni, Vijay, very good. All of you are answering C. Sheikh, Suma, Litesh, Reshma, Lakshya, Janu. Okay, all of you are answering C. All of you are answering C. So bryophyte, sporophyte is dependent on gametophyte, right? So now can we say that bryophytes show alternation of generation? A new term we are seeing here, alternation of generation, in which you will see there is a gametophyte which is haploid and there is a sporophyte which is diploid, and gametophyte becomes sporophyte, sporophyte become gametophyte. This is called alternation of generation. Is it clear? So now let's see the mosses and then we will see one more question from mosses. So mosses are also called bryopsida. Mosses are also called bryopsida. Mosses are also bryophyte. So in mosses also, which will be the dominant phase? The gametophyte will be the dominant phase. Example here you can see funaria. Funaria, this is the funaria and this is a sphagnum. So 2 example you remember, funaria and sphagnum. Funaria and sphagnum. This is sphagnum, this is funaria. Now if you see it carefully, this part is the gametophyte and this is the sporophyte. Sporophyte, gametophyte. Sporophyte here also is divided into foot, seta and capsule. Foot, seta and capsule, and this is the gametophyte. Now here they have two stages. In this case, remember, the spore develop into gametophyte. Spore develop into gametophyte. In between they form these two stages. In between they form protonema and leafy stage. So simple term, let's not complicate it. In a very simple term, if I say, we have seen that in liverwort gemma cup is formed. Now that gemma cup is not formed here. Here what is formed? Protonema. There gemma, here protonema. Mosses, protonema, liverwort, gemma. That difference you have to keep it in mind. That here protonema is formed. Now protonema can form the leafy stage also, means there is a filamentous step and there is a leafy stage. Now if I ask you that protonema is formed in, you will say mosses. Gemma is formed in, you will say bryophyte. Then if I say rhizoid is present in, so you will say rhizoid is present in both liverworts and mosses. In both liverworts and mosses. Now who is more advanced? Moss is more advanced as compared to liverwort. So now see here, question related to moss. Again a statement based question. Think and answer. Think about it and answer. Think about it and answer. Which of the following statement about the mosses are true? Mosses belong to bryophyte. Correct? Gametophyte is the dominant stage. In case of mosses, who is the dominant stage? Gametophyte. Body is differentiated into stem-like, leaf-like and root-like structure. Yes, I am not telling differentiated into root, stem and leaf. Root-like, stem-like, right? So yes, true root are present. Is true root present? No, true root is not present. So what will be the correct answer here? Which option? Correct answer will be A. 1, 2 and 3 is correct. 1, 2 and 3 is correct. Correct answer is, now some of you are mentioning D. All of the above is not correct because true roots are not present. Remember, true root is not present. True root is not present. Remember this. True root absent. True root is absent. Instead of true root, what is present? Rhizoid is present. What is rhizoid? Rhizoid is root-like structure, not root. Remember this. They are not root, they are root-like structure. So correct answer will be A. Right, very good. So now let's see one more question which we have left here about mosses. Now this question, if I ask you, now you can answer it. In mosses, protonema represent gametophyte or sporophyte. So here I will tell you protonema is haploid. Now you can, I have given you the hint, protonema is haploid. So it will represent the gametophyte or sporophyte. Fine, tell me the answer. 5. Correct answer is protonema is haploid. So haploid represent gametophyte or sporophyte. We have seen here, see, gametophyte is haploid, sporophyte is diploid, and here protonema is haploid. So it is a part of think and answer. I am waiting for the correct answer. 5. The correct answer is Ravi Kumar giving answer C. Many of you are answering B, A. So now it is a little bit of confusion is there, right? Because here there are two options which says about gametophyte, right? Now, if one option would have been gametophyte, then you would have gone to gametophyte. But now in gametophyte also you have two options, mature gametophyte and juvenile gametophyte. So remember this, I will note this down. See, spore first develop into protonema. Spore develop into protonema, and then protonema develop into leafy stage. Protonema develop into leafy stage, and this leafy stage develop into gametophyte. Develop into gametophyte. So this protonema we will call it juvenile gametophyte, because it will further develop into juvenile means young. Juvenile means which is not yet developed. So protonema is the juvenile gametophyte which will mature and become gametophyte. So correct answer will be C. Remember here, protonema represent juvenile gametophyte. This juvenile gametophyte develop into leafy stage which develop into gametophyte. So understood this point? So in mosses protonema is present, and protonema is the juvenile gametophyte. Now let's move ahead. So this is all about the pteridophyte. Now this is all about bryophyte, and now we will see the economic importance. So economic importance. So here see, bryophyte in itself do not have a lot of economic importance. It has more ecological importance. There is a line in NCERT that says that bryophytes have more ecological, less economic importance. Less economic importance, right? This is the point. So it has more ecological importance, less economic importance. Soil formation, soil erosion, it prevents. Some mosses use as bioindicator and packaging. Sphagnum is used for packaging. So very less economic importance is there. So now today let's try one more different thing. We have covered this bryophyte topic. Now we will go to NCERT, and those who are having NCERT, you take it out in printed form. If you have, you take it out. Otherwise you just observe how we read NCERT. As I promised last day, I will tell you how to read NCERT. So let's see here. Now we have this NCERT with us. Now here we start with this bryophyte. So as you can see here, this is bryophyte, right? So these diagram we have seen, all of you can see here very clearly that here gemma cup is present, archegoniophore is present, antheridiophore is present, rhizoid is present. So all these we have already seen. Now let's go to the text part of it. See, this all point I have covered here. Now, here if we see, bryophytes are called amphibians of plant kingdom. Why they are called amphibians of plant kingdom? I hope it is clearly visible to all of you. Bryophytes are called the amphibians of plant kingdom. It is called amphibians of plant kingdom. Why? Because they depend on water for sexual reproduction, right? Now, these plant body are differentiated, more differentiated than algae. As I said, here algae has a lesser, smaller differentiated body. They have more differentiated. They have rhizoid. They lack true root, right? Here they have gametophyte, which is the main plant body. They have antheridium, they have archegonium, they have antherozoids. So if you read all the point what we have studied in the class, all are given here, and in this way only you have to cover NCERT. Further, if we move ahead, we will get the sporophyte also, then see liverworts, mosses, all the character of liverwort is given, all the character of mosses is given, and then basically in the end you have to compare mosses and liverworts. So this is how you have to read. Reading NCERT is very important. Why? Because 100%, not only 90% or 99, 100% of the question in NEET is going to be there from NCERT. Nothing outside NCERT is asked. So that is very important. You read through the NCERT. So I guess now today all of you will go back and get it downloaded. It is always better to have a hard copy. So I will suggest these are few pages. Get it printed and then have it with you. Whenever you get a chance, you will get, you can buy the hard copy also of the book from market. But right now you get it printed, get it downloaded and get it printed. As I have already told you, go to Google, just you have to type this one, NCERT Plant Kingdom, and then you will get your PDF. So that is it for today. Now, as I have told you, you have to go back and you have to read NCERT. So that is it for today. Thank you all of you, and I hope you will use your Sunday in a very productive way by reading, by revising, and also by enjoying. Thank you all of you.